Ever just stop and wonder why people do the things they do? And not just other people, why we do the things we do. We all have these weird, confusing patterns. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and figure out what's really going on.
Okay, let's start with this one, because I'm sure you've seen it. You're in intense conversation, maybe things get a little heated, and instead of fighting back, the other person just shuts down. Complete silence. It's so easy to think, wow, they don't even care. But what if that silence isn't apathy? What if it's actually a shield?
Or how about this? You know that person who just instinctively bristles at any rule? Doesn't matter how sensible it is, their gut reaction is always nope. It looks like they're just being difficult, but for them, their brain is screaming about a hidden threat that most of us just don't see.
And maybe the most relatable one of all, that big, amazing dream you have for your life. You think about it, you talk about it, it feels so real in your mind, but you never actually do anything about it. Well, it turns out that's not just you being lazy. It's a really clever psychological trap.
So here's the big reveal. The thing that connects the silence, the rebellion, and the inaction is that they aren't flaws. Not at all. They are actually sophisticated automatic defense mechanisms. It's your mind's secret security system working overtime.
The official term for this is psychological self-protection, and it's basically your brain's default setting. Its number one job is to defend you from anything that even smells like a threat. Things like rejection, failure, or feeling like you've lost control. It's like a hyper-vigilant bodyguard living in your head.
And that leads us to this really powerful, kinda tough to swallow idea. Your brain isn't built to make you happy. It's built to keep you alive. That means it will always choose the safe, familiar, even boring option over the risky unknown one, even if staying safe means staying stuck.
So let's look at how this plays out, starting with social pain. This is where that internal bodyguard is on the highest alert. See, for our ancient brains, getting rejected by the tribe was literally a death sentence, and that old programming is still running the show today. Now, what's wild is how this one motive, self-protection, can create two totally opposite reactions. You've got the person who gets loud, who argues. They're trying to wrestle back a sense of control. But then you have the person who goes silent. That silence, it's their shield. They're trying to prevent any more emotional damage. So why the silence? Well, a few things could be going on. Maybe in their past, they learned the hard way that speaking up just makes things worse. Or maybe the feelings are just so intense, they literally can't find the words. It's not that they have nothing to say, it's that they have everything to say and their brain needs a minute to sort it all out. And this security system can take it to the extreme. I mean, what's the ultimate way to avoid getting hurt in a relationship? Well, it's to never get close enough for someone to hurt you in the first place. The brain guarantees protection from rejection, but in doing so, it also closes the door on any chance for real connection. Okay, let's switch gears a bit to our next big theme, this constant fight for control. This explains both that deep-seated hatred of rules and the exhausting habit of overthinking. At the end of the day, it's all about feeling like you're the one in the driver's seat. So for that person who hates rules, it's not just about being stubborn. If you see yourself as an independent, creative person, a rule doesn't feel like helpful guidance. It feels like a direct threat to your identity. It's someone else trying to take away your choice, and that feels like a personal attack. And this, right here, this is the key. For this kind of thinker, the process of choosing for themselves is way more important than the final result. Seriously, they would rather choose their own path and fail than be forced to follow someone else's path and succeed. The choice itself is the prize. This deep need for control is also the engine that drives overthinking. You know, when your mind just spins and spins, playing out a million different scenarios, that's your brain trying to get control of an uncertain future. The logic is, if I can think of every possible bad thing that could happen, then nothing can surprise me. But of course, it usually just ends up making us more anxious.
All right, on to our final puzzle, the escape from failure. This is where we get into the strange but powerful logic behind dreaming big and then doing absolutely nothing about it. It's all about protecting your ego.
So here's the sneaky trap your brain sets for you. When you just imagine achieving your goal, getting the degree, starting the business, your brain releases a little bit of dopamine. It feels good. It feels like you've already accomplished something. And that feeling of satisfaction cleverly kills your motivation to do the actual hard work. And what's hiding underneath all that inaction? It's this quiet, powerful belief. Procrastinating, or not studying as hard as you could, is a way to protect yourself.
Your brain creates a built-in excuse. That way, if you fail, you can tell yourself, well, it's because I didn't really try. It wasn't a failure of your ability. Your potential gets to stay perfect because it was never truly tested.
But here's the twist in the story. These shields, these defense mechanisms that we learned when we were young to keep us safe, they can turn into cages when we're adults. For example, think about a kid who is always criticized when they ask for something. Their brain learns a simple lesson. Being noticed is dangerous. So as an adult, that pattern just keeps running. They avoid the spotlight, they never ask for what they need, and they end up feeling invisible. So what do we do about all this? Are we just stuck with these automatic programs running our lives forever? The answer is a hard no. The moment you can see the pattern, you get a choice. You can start to reclaim your own script.
And listen, if you only take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. That tendency to go quiet, or to overthink, or to procrastinate, that is not you. That's not your identity. It is simply a strategy your brain is using to protect you. And separating who you are from what you do, that is the first step to everything.
The way forward is actually pretty simple, even if it's not always easy. First, you just have to notice your pattern. See it when it happens, without beating yourself up about it. Second, you start to change your identity. So instead of, I'm an overthinker, you start telling yourself, I am a person who is learning to trust myself. And finally, you take tiny actions that back up that new identity, over and over again, until you literally build new pathways in your brain.